Welcome back to Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Beautiful city. By day or night, we welcome you to our Heat Live postgame presented by Verizon. Tonight, a tough one for the Heat here in Toronto. They lose it by 26, 121 to 95. The Heat now fall 3 games behind the Raptors with 3 games to play, and they have lost the season series with Toronto. It's 3-0, Toronto. We'll hear from Coach Spo. John Crotty and Amy Audibert will give you their honest perspective on tonight's discouraging output. Player sound from the Heat locker room, all of that coming up here on your Heat Live postgame. Listen, Eric Reed and John Crotty, we welcome you back. It's never easy to lose by this wide a margin. 26 points is the 3rd widest margin this year. But, John, what makes it discouraging for that Heat team in the locker room right now to lose a game this important, this big?
Well, look, I think Toronto was impressive. What they were able to do with their force, the bruising physicality they played with. They were relentless on the defensive end. They really slowed Miami down. They couldn't get comfortable out there. There were no open. They just didn't feel open on the offensive end. 36% shooting for Miami, 27% beyond the arc. It was a dominant defensive performance. And then on top of that, they were able to take advantage in the paint on the offensive end. So Miami not able to prevent Toronto from getting some of those drives in there, some of the physical putbacks as well.
You know, we asked Toronto coach Darko Rajakovic in his pregame press conference tonight, what was the keys to his team successfully defending the Heat back in December? And he sort of pushed it to the side, said, well, they're a much better team now than they were then. But the reality is they did the same thing to the Heat 3 different times. They beat the Heat by 21 2 nights before Christmas. They beat them by 26 tonight with some of the best defense we've seen against the Heat this year. Let's take a look at our game summary tonight from here at Scotiabank Arena. Raptors attacked early. John, they were unstoppable in the paint. Matter of fact, they outscored the Heat in the paint 70-34. They also dominated in second chance points. So in the physical areas, they just dominated Miami, held the Heat to 36% shooting. Barnes and Ingram were too tough for that Heat defense.
Yeah, just relentless, too, the way they continue to go after the board again and again. And they got timely shooting from Ingram, who was a force out there, along with this guy, Scotty Barnes, who continues to be a reliable finisher around the basket and on the perimeter for them.
Toronto looking good to end their 3-year playoff drought. Your game summary presented by Xfinity. The Heat now 1-6 in games that are held under 40% shooting. They were held to 15 fast break points tonight. The second chance points big for Toronto, 23-6. Andrew Wiggins scored 24 after hang your Heat hat on tonight. When we come back, you'll hear from Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra on a chilly April night here in Toronto.
There's Toronto. There's a happy town of people back there because their ball club came out and played on both ends big time, holding Miami under 100 points for the 3rd straight time in 3 meetings in this season series.
Jackson might be happy, but they're so cold.
They are that. They can't just get warm up here this time of year. Amy Audibert, native, she knows the deal. Jason Jackson alongside. And a big differential in this one. So many, but top of your list, second chance points?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, there's a lot of things on the top of my list right now. And you don't feel this way if you don't expect more from a group that's capable. Right. Can't stress that enough. But second chance points at the end of the night, 23-6, which is very lopsided. But at halftime, the column was 21-6. So you go, oh, great. Listen, you contain the Raptors to 2 second chance points in the second half, but there's 2 things at play here. The Raptors shot almost 50% from the field. The Miami Heat shot 36% from the field. The Miami Heat should have had more offensive rebounds, and they absolutely should have dominated the second chance column simply because they missed a lot more shots. There was a lot more opportunity for them. When you look at the Raptors, it is not a shocker. They are big. They are strong. They fly in from the perimeter, and that is a tough body and a tough type of body to box out. But if you don't make first contact, they make you pay. The Raptors absolutely did tonight.
The offensive output for Miami was in reverse from the first quarter through the end of the fourth quarter. And fast break points. It's a space in this contest where the Heat were behind the Raptors again, but not by much. But the Raptors taking care of their 12 opportunities, scoring 8 of those times.
That's it. It's the efficiency, 8 for 12. And listen, stuff like this, I mean, that is a smaller player guarding a bigger player at the rim. So ball pressure, proactive in the lanes, those things have to happen. But those are the ones here that bother you because it's just the lack of communication. At one point, it was a 4-on-1. To me, again, and you're hard on this Heat team because you know they're capable of more. You can't have a 4-on-1 on the road in transition, right? And so the Miami Heat, 5 for 15 on their fast break opportunity. Scoring was an issue. It wasn't just the half court. It was the open court, the full court as well. There it is right there, 4-on-1. Those are the ones that you watch on film, and maybe your staff, your coaches don't say too much because not much has to be said as a professional basketball player. That's just not acceptable, right? And so when you look at the points off turnovers, Miami was doing a good job early. They end up losing that one, a -8 as well, but the -36. And again, a lot of that is fast break. The Raptors are not a big time 3-point shooting team. This is how they burn you right there. That's late in the game. It is almost the postseason. This team is on their home court. They are not going to take it easy for 48 minutes. Not one rep did the Raptors take off tonight.
Good Greek moves of the game. How about this 1-2 punch for Toronto? Barnes with 25 leading the way. Also had 8 rebounds, 5 assists. And B.I. smoothing to it. 23 points on 9 of 16 shooting.
Yeah, their 2 stars came out, but they did a great job distributing as well. They got rolling early, and they're tough to stop.
Time to take a break. We'll come on back. Hopefully hear from Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra. We're standing by for his thoughts on this 121-95 victory by the home team. That would be the Toronto Raptors. Xfinity Road ahead. Here's what's left ahead. We'll do this again on Thursday, hopefully differently, but the same combatants. The front side of a back-to-back for the Miami Heat. Off to the nation's capital. Hopefully we'll find some peace there. And then off to finish things up on Sunday in Miami.
Yeah, listen, we still know this. These games still hold a lot of weight. A lot can happen. It certainly feels discouraging, right? After a game like this with so much importance to it. The implications are grand, but Jax, everything right now has to be focused on Thursday night.
Time now for the Baptist Health post-game press conference. Let's listen in to Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra.
Obviously, we know what the goal of the night was and the goal of the season was, and they're sort of intertwined. You're in the play-in, most likely, even by Thursday, is the number 10 seed. Where's the disappointment level? What's next with this team?
I mean, yeah, we're disappointed, for sure, that we weren't able to bring another level of competitive spirit, to this. That's what's disappointing. We're not thinking about the next step, right now. It was the first half of not setting the tone, from a defensive standpoint. They did a great job keeping us out of the paint. We had good looks from 3, but you got to knock down some of those to keep them honest. Otherwise, they're going to keep on swarming the paint. They did a tremendous job with that. But defensively, we never set the tone. They had 44 relief points in the first half, 21 second chance, a bunch off cuts, and then a few in transition. We just have to be better. So we're just going to focus on film, working tomorrow, correcting the things we need to, and bringing a better game for Thursday.
Is there any spirit still there, and how do you?
Yeah, we have a spirit. Our guys bounce back, but we have to, rise to the level of the competition. That's the bottom line right now. We have these opportunities to meet our competition, and we come up short. That's what the spirit, is fine. Like, we had a great practice yesterday, a productive shoot-around today. And then it becomes the moment of truth where we have to respond, and we have to conquer that.
The length of the Raptors seems to play into your offense. It's the 3 games against them struggling offensively. How do you overcome that when in the playoffs you probably will see more of that?
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Like I said, we have to be able to get to our game with force. We have to knock down a few of those to keep teams honest. But we just have to do things with more intention, for sure, against the teams that load up on our drives.
It looks like there's some tired players. It looks that way, at least. Maybe Bam, when he's been through the season, having to carry a load. Does there come a time when maybe you have to balance rest with the fact you will be playing early next week?
We're not at that point. No. We're no different than other teams. Right now, we're trying to get our game right, and that's what we're focused on.
And we saw that Norm Tyler stagger again. Was that just because you wanted to keep Norm's minutes down coming back? And how do you work through that maybe to get them more in tune?
Yeah, we'll see. That was the intention for this game, and we'll see what we do moving forward.
Coach, preparation-wise, how much does it help that you're playing the same team the next 2 days?
Oh, we have to be a lot better. That's for sure.
What did you see from Andrew Wiggins? It looks like he was having a good game despite the loss.
I don't know. I don't even really think we didn't play well enough for me to really see who played well. All right, thank you.
Yeah, after a loss like this at a time like this, you expect that type of intensity and also the clarity of what's ahead.
Yeah, I think as an athlete, you could be in a house league, you could be a pro athlete in the highest of leagues in the world. One of the greatest privileges is expectation when people expect things from you, right? If fan bases don't expect things from you, they don't get upset. If you're coach, and I find that at this level, coaches are realistic. They understand if they're supposed to have pretty good seasons or not, or what type of talent level they have. And you can see frustration because there's expectation on this team and they have to live up to that expectation. No one expects them to win every game. But one thing that's always expected with this group is for them to compete hard. And it just didn't happen tonight. And that's the frustrating part. You're not going to win every game, but can you go to sleep at night saying you did everything in your control? And this team did not do that tonight. I
do have a sunny side of the street. Would you like it?
Oh, you always do.
I mean, you're about to leave here with Angela and Natalie. You're going to go see Gus the dog. And I want to send you guys out of here right. It's the dunk of the contest, right? Get up and do it. Yes, thank you, Wayne. Morgan & Morgan. Every Miami Heat dunk this season, our friends at Morgan & Morgan donate $100 to the Miami Heat Charitable Fund. That's how you do it. Once again, the final score, 121-95. Toronto takes it. This has been a presentation of FanDuel Sports Network, your exclusive home for Miami Heat basketball. For Eric and John, Amy and her gorgeous sisters, Amy herself, pretty gorgeous, sitting to the right of the throne around here. I'm Jason Jackson. Heat Nation, we'll do this again on Thursday, and it'll be better, I promise. I'm not going to guarantee it, but a promise is solid. Talk to you, Heat Nation.